All right, today we're going to dive into some of the most ancient Buddhist texts and trace the path they lay out, a path to a mind that is truly unbound, a path to complete and total freedom from suffering.
The whole journey really starts with this incredible image. I mean, just think about that. This isn't about just feeling a little bit better. We're talking about a radical transformation, shedding everything you cling to, as easily and naturally as a snake sheds its skin. It's about absolute renewal.
So, what does that actually feel like? I mean, really, what is that state of being? To be completely unburdened with no mental knots, no constraints. That's the huge question we're going to explore together.
But here's the thing. To understand freedom, you first have to get a really clear look at what's binding you. And the ancient texts are crystal clear on this. The problem isn't the world out there, it's a very specific habit of our own minds.
It all boils down to this one mental action, grasping. It's that constant, subtle clinging. You know that feeling when you compulsively check your phone, or when you keep replaying an argument in your head? That's it. That's grasping. It's the mind trying desperately to hold on to things that are, by their very nature, always slipping away. And this one little habit kicks off a whole chain reaction.
And this shows you exactly what happens. The texts put it so simply. Grasping is the cause of continued existence. One who exists falls into suffering. Basically, as long as we're clinging, we're just feeding this loop, creating the conditions for our own unhappiness over and over again. So the takeaway is huge. To end the suffering, you have to end the grasping.
Okay, so if grasping is the problem, how in the world do you stop? Well, the path doesn't start with some kind of complex, mystical technique. It actually starts with something incredibly practical. Building a stable, ethical foundation for your mind.
Before you can even begin to quiet your mind, you have to stop pouring fuel on the fire. And that starts with guarding the senses. It just means you watch what comes in through your eyes and ears, but you make a choice not to get caught up in the features and details. You see something, you hear something, you just note it, and you let it go without letting your mind spin out of control. It's the very first step in training.
And that is then supported by this really clear ethical framework. Now, these aren't just a bunch of arbitrary rules. Each one is specifically designed to stop you from doing things that stir up the mind and create regret. By living this way, you create a mind that's naturally calmer, clearer, and free from all that inner conflict. It's a mind that's finally ready for the deeper work.
So once that solid foundation of conduct is in place, the focus turns inward. This is where we start to actively train the mind, turning it into this incredibly powerful tool for insight.
You see, a mind that's settled by ethical living is just perfectly primed for mindfulness. And the main tool for this? The breath. It's always there, it's neutral, it's the perfect anchor to train your attention. But this is not a passive thing at all.
Just look at how active these instructions are. You are not just sitting there watching your breath go in and out, no way. You are actively working with it. You experience the mind, you intentionally gladden it, you immerse it in deep concentration, that's samadhi, and ultimately, you use the breath as a tool to free the mind.
Now, as this practice really deepens, something amazing can happen. The mind can enter these profound states of concentration called jhana. You can think of them as levels of deep mental absorption, where all the usual chatter in your head just fades away, leaving the mind incredibly still, powerful, and lucid.
I mean, how do you even begin to describe a state like that? The texts use this absolutely beautiful image for the second jhana. Just picture it, a lake that's fed only by a spring from deep within. The entire lake is just saturated with this cool, refreshing water. That's what this state is like, a self-sustaining bliss and calm that fills your entire being.
So, you've built the foundation. You've cultivated this incredibly focused and powerful mind. What's the point of it all? Well, the purpose of this deep calm isn't just to feel good. It's to use that sharpened mind like a microscope to investigate the true nature of reality itself.
This slide really shows the fundamental shift we're talking about. Our default setting, the common view, is to look at our body, our feelings, our thoughts, and just assume this is mine, I am this is myself. The liberating insight completely flips that on its head. Through direct investigation, you see that all these things are temporary, unreliable, and just not fit to be seen as some solid, lasting self.
The investigation itself is a really systematic process. You start with the most obvious thing we call self. Our body, our form. Is it permanent or is it impermanent? Well, of course not. It's changing every single second.
Okay, next up,
Feelings. Are they a stable self? One moment you're happy, the next you're sad. They are clearly wildly impermanent.
And what about your perceptions, your thoughts, your consciousness itself? When you look really, really closely at any part of your experience, the answer is always the same. It's all just a constantly flowing stream. There is nothing solid to hold on to in there.
And here's the punchline. When you see this directly for yourself, not just thinking about it, but truly seeing it in your own experience, when you stop identifying with any of this stuff as me or mine, the very foundation for the idea of a separate self just dissolves. The root of all that grasping is finally cut.
So what's the result of this profound letting go? We don't have to guess. The texts give us the first-hand accounts from people who walked this path all the way to the end, and their words are just astonishing.
Listen to the elder Sarada. He's basically saying, it's done, game over. The Buddha's teaching has been fully realized. The whole cycle of suffering is broken for good.
Then the elder Rakita gets right to the psychological core of it. Those three fires that fuel all our problems, greed, hatred, and ignorance, he says they're gone. Not just managed or suppressed, but totally eradicated.
And this might be the most powerful metaphor of them all. The word for liberation, nibbana, literally means quenching or extinguishing. What's extinguished? The fires of greed, hatred, and delusion. And what's left behind is a state of deep peace, a coolness, an unshakable freedom.
And so we end right back where we started, with the question. If everything you identify as you is seen through and let go of, if all the fires are quenched, what's left? The texts don't give us a simple definition. They point to an experience, a mind unbound, vast, and utterly free, a peace that is truly beyond all understanding.